argument here is, can a state like Osun throw up almost 400,000 within 10 days in terms of registration? INEC says it's possible. ADCs and Atiku Abubakar says they are fictitious and cooked up.
Amici, you know that Osun will soon go into election, and you know the battle on that ground. So you should be expecting political awareness, political consciousness among the people. However, observations have been raised by opposition, which INEC need to sit down and really explain what is happening. It's not as I said earlier on. Osun has a very peculiar case at the moment where there are people struggling to arguing over who is the chairman of local government. Osun has 30 local government, the highest in the southwest, and you know what that means. And if the governor is being battled, being talked about whether he wants to jump ship to APC, so many issues can provoke the rise in the online voter registration in Osun State, but it still calls for investigation. It still calls for thorough checks.
There will be elections in Ekiti State also. Same year with Osun. Did we see that high number in Ekiti State?
You see, when these, even before the 2023 general election, some of us threw up a proposal that perhaps nobody paid attention to. We saw what's that thing called now? The glitches, and it drew us back to that. I am of the opinion that INEC back server, where they are looking at these things, the parties should have agents to have access to monitor what is going on there. We can give INEC benefit of that. But just like this issue of Osun State is being raised, already is questioning the integrity of the 2027 elections. Yeah. And there is nothing, when you say free, fair, and they now have credible election, it's a fundamental requirement for an acceptable election. So we must be very, very careful, when when such circumstances come. That, for me, that is the way to go. The parties, 18 of them at the moment, should have their staff domiciled to look at what is happening in INEC, so that when INEC throws up these issues, people are not contesting and raising doubts as to whether they are authentic or not. But moving forward, and I can tell you, this is just a part of it. Because you mentioned Lagos, you mentioned Osun, what is the connection? Several factors and several reasons that people will give, and all of you mentioned Ekiti. Even in Anambra that they did new voter registration.
What was the number?
What was the number of how many weeks? And what we're having in Osun, and all of that. And I can tell you, if you go across the state, even within Abuja, you meet a number of people, you talk to them. A number of them, there is this resentment.
There will be local council elections in February in Abuja.
People appear not to be interested in voting again. Some of them, I sit down and encourage them, to explain to them, and all of that. Even in here, in our premises, there are some of the UCO members I engaged a few days ago. I asked them whether
they have turned 18 recently.
Yes, I've asked them whether they had their permanent voter card or whether they have done their registration. They said no. They said
you asked me, what are you talking about?
Some of them were not even aware, that the date of they knew that they were supposed to be considered, but the date, and all of, because the exercise, just started. And some of them were like, even if you vote, people vote, the vote doesn't count. And I was explaining, and taking over the job of INEC to explain to them the reason why they should vote.
He's doing advert for INEC. Yes. INEC should come and pay and tell us, do voter education. But one thing,
as the media will have a responsibility.
Just quickly,
as the media will have a responsibility. We can't help INEC. Even INEC refuses to do its job, the Constitution also empowers us to do the job, and that's what Teve is doing. I've been doing it also, and I've told you, I've gone to INEC office because I've lost my permanent voter card, and I've started the process of having it replaced. Now, the issues are clear. It could be possible that some highest level of mobilization took place in Osun State. Osun State, some people claim the president comes from Osun State, but he's resident in Lagos. We are seeing the figures
Yeah,
from
from
Osun and
Osun and
Lagos.
Lagos.
This may be explain why some people are raising issues. They may say, oh, the president is from there, elections are coming, they may go and cook us some things. But the fact is that there could be highest level of mobilization.
From the
Yes.
politicians.
Yes.
Even in
Because
FCT.
if you fail to mobilize, you now begin to accuse the person that mobilized of over mobilization. That's another fact. It's also possible because we have to present just both, not just the two sides, but the edges, like what Suremi would say. It's also possible because in social survey, I carry out social survey. I move out, get my target population, share this thing, and get feedback. There are sometimes when it's abnormal, you begin to question it. So that may explain why these questions, integrity issues are coming.
Out of the 36